So first of all, I will give you a basic idea about the seminar or the webinar, whatever you can say. The name of the seminar or webinar is in like gaming, okay, which is related to the game. Nowadays, we already aware with the fact that every person who has some devices like mobile, um, PC or laptop, someday, sometime, once in a life, everybody can play or they any kind of game. Like it might be a shooting game, it might be a racing game, or any kind of. Now, why we should learn about this gaming and all? We have a subject, and we already deal with VFX, filmmaking, animation, and all. Though we don't have any gaming directly to that course, still it's very important that you should know that aspect of those elements, because somehow this gaming is also a part of our course, which is not directly, but there are several more factors that we can implement our skills in the sense of art, concept, direction, cinematography, camera, lighting in the field of gaming. And it might be possible that you may switch your game also, it, switch your future or switch your career in the game in the future. It might be possible. Maybe today you are thinking that you're gonna build your own movie, maybe short film or documentary, but after 1 year you may switch it to a gaming department also. So that might be possible if you have a clear vision about it. So we started. So this is very important quotation of Mr. Abdul Kalam, that if you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning. Why I'm putting this quote in here? Because we are discussing a subject which is totally depending on trial and error process. In our daily life, we may do many type of things or job, uh, which is normal. Like if you just simply take your breakfast, it's a normal thing that doesn't have any trial and error process. But if you want to create something new, or if you want to build something new, that might be fail in the first attempt. If you want to try to uh, cook omelette in the first time of your life, so it might be possible that is not gonna cook properly, because you should not know that what exactly the situation will happen after overeating, or if you are not putting the salt on it properly, or many things. So those are the trials that we're going to try, and after the fall or after the fail, we're going to learn from the every fail. Okay, next time I will do it correctly. So this is the base thing. So we're going to jump to the introduction, what exactly the game all about. Now, this is just small introduction. But what is gaming? The action or practice of playing video game. A very simple thing. And those people are basically playing games. They are called as gamer. That means if you play game, then you called as a gamer. Sometime we also earn some money with playing game also. We already have a lot of idea about tournaments related to some FIFA World Cup, related to some shooting games. So at that moment, we people act like a gamer as an active participant on a team or as multiple team. So there's the possibility that gaming is a kind of uh, process. Okay. When you play the game, that is called gaming, and those people are playing the game, that is called gamer. That means there is some relation like gaming, games, and gamer. So when you play the game, you will be a gamer. When you play the game, the behavior is called gaming. Okay. And definitely we have a lot of more aspect in the future, because we may play the game in our cell phone, we may play the game in joystick with the help of um, mobile devices like Xbox and VR devices. So there are a lot of possibilities that we can choose nowadays, because this modern technology is too much vast, and it might be possible that with a single presentation it may not be clear at all properly, but I will try to explain, at least if people can understand what exactly we are dealing with. So now, what is video game actually? In today's life, we basically feel that if we have a device, and with the device we're gonna play actually interesting games, and that kind of thing are called video game. That is fine, that is exactly perfect. But what will be the, or the what was the purpose of developing the video game? That is very important and crucial part of this evolution. Because before 10 years back, if you ask me or any other guy who was just born in 80s, they don't even know how to operate computer, because some of the people have don't idea about computer even. Maybe when they just pass out from their graduation, after that they will just touch the computer keyboard. But still, the technology is evolving from the earlier, like around 1958 or something. And now, what is the purpose? The purpose is basically the relaxation and creativity, socialization, enjoyment, so that the people can enjoy. Because there are several age groups, like some of people are much more older, and some people are younger, juniors over there. So they have more time to deal with this kind of situation, that they have nothing to do, so just play. And at least with this kind of playing they can also relax on their mind. Even there are more good games which is also playable for some challenges, achievements. So that is also very much uh, important. So definitely we're going to discuss later on those things. Next, we could have been learn about a bit of history. So today's presentation is basically a proper guideline about the whole scenario, what exactly the gaming is and how the game will produce, how they will develop, what are the aspect of game departments, how we can incorporate ourselves into that area, what are the very big challenges before this industry, and how we can understand the sacrifications or the or the implementations or the time management of previous scientists and physicists about this. So this is a small image that I took from internet, and that is very important for all of us who just um, try to learn something new. This device is basically called as arcade device, which is basically played over the years and with some joystick kind of devices, not exactly the joystick, that has some knob like radio. Whenever you gonna tune some channel, you need to rotate the knobs, and during the rotation you can uh, increase the volume, you can find the new radio station. So these kind of small buttons over there, and you can able to rotate those things, and with the rotation set we can achieve some performance. And the structure of that computer is not exactly something like that. This is just an representation of the structure, because main computer is in uh, exactly with the attachment of that monitor system which is found over there. And this is the computer space is a company, and they are forming this device approximately in 1970, and the research is going to start from 1958. And there are several more physicists who just bring this thing in life. Definitely every team has 10 to 12 members, but the main team lead will be highlighted every time. So here is also the same thing. There will be, or there was maybe plenty of game changer person over there, but we don't know the name of every person. So here is the association. They brought in this kind of thing in uh, front in November 1971. They will just set up this particular thing in a National Library open house. Okay, and they just call the ordinary people to play. Okay, you people can play and try this, what kind of game it is and what exactly the device. Before that, nobody can understand what exactly the video game is. So that is very important that time. So tentatively we can say in 1970 onwards, the gaming era will was started. And that time nobody can plan something like FPS game or strategy based game. This kind of concept is nothing on that time, because they don't have any idea about it. After completion of this year, they're gonna develop more important features like Arteries is a very good company. Artery is a very good company. They are just involving such a new devices which might be very helpful for playing games. Uh, Actually, what happened when we are just discussing the history, it might be a little bit of boring things, because we don't have any assets to play, we don't have anything to do, we just need to read all those things. It might be feel that it's not important for us, but definitely history is very important. If you are not going through the history, you cannot understand what exactly the pioneer thinks, and how far it will came from. So this is a slide where Ralph Beer is showing his prototype. Now, what exactly this is? These tiny boxes are called brown box, as they are colored with brown textures. And every brown box has three different buttons. One button is called as serve, another is HDR, and another is uh, I don't able to see properly. So it might be English or something written over there. What are the things is called the left-handed person is the right-handed person. Now, what exactly happens? This kind of device only can able to play, only can able to handle only two-person, two player at a time. That means they have basically built a ping pong game which is called table tennis. They name it as Pong, Pong. Uh, and they're gonna play this thing with the two-person. One person hold the device in a hand and try to serve the ball with the service button, and other two controller are right, left, top button. So as they are moving those switches, this kind of tiny switches, these small boxes are going up and down and right and left, or they are much more speed up or reduce their speed, because this is the table tennis system. So if somebody hit a piece of ball with that particular cube, that ball is bounced back here, and you need to protect this through that area, and after the completion of it you may be able to send the ball it back again. So these are the process. Okay, so this is a very important parts of our gaming history. Before this kind of box has been generated, nothing will be there, something like called joystick or something. So it might be possible that this was the first attempt to making the joystick, and we call it brown box. And Ralph Beer is also known as the father of gaming. Okay, now we have a part which is very important, types of games, because today we will play a lot of games in our daily life. Somebody play carom board, somebody play billiards, shockers, cards, maybe somebody play PUBG on the internet, maybe Call of Duty. This is very good performance games. Also, some of the players are also available to able to play the mind games like TikToks or side scrolling games. There are a lot of more classification. So we're gonna discuss a little bit of what exactly it is. So this is called types of games. Now we are in a game genre, so we might be classified the game many ways. So I preferably choose 10 piece of classification mode. It might be changed if you go to the Google and if you type it. It might be 6, it might be 7, it might be 3. That depends on uh, the experience they are gonna show you. Depending on them, they are gonna discuss all these areas. So I personally found this minimum 10 division will be there, so that nowadays we have a lot of specific game in this industry. So first of all, we just don't go through these switches or buttons, because these are more complex. First of all, there are three names. Just tell me how many people have ever with those three names of the game. Anybody can play Minecraft? तुमने से कोई खेले हो Minecraft?
Yes, sir.
What about Grand Theft Auto and Sims?
হ্যাঁ স্যার সব কটা খেলে।
Like,
Yes, sir.
okay, there are several participants here. I think they are also playing games, but this is not possible. They are also like these kind of games. There are the classification of it. So Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto, and the Sims. Why we call it as a sandbox? This is the big question, and why we divide it with such a kind of specifications. First of all, I'm gonna highlight a bit of things which is very important to know. Like as we know, two-dimensional and three-dimensional, very good manner. You know focal length, you know depth of field, and you also know foci lens, tele lens. It's a very uh, easy thing to understand because you know the theory part. So only for now you can very easily understand what exactly the depth of field, what exactly the field of view, the zoom, and everything. So something like that. Gaming also has some theory, though you don't have the gaming chapter on your subject, but still I'm gonna highlight a bit of. We have some 10 divisions. One is sandbox, real-time strategy, which is shortly RTS, then FPS and TPS. FPS is first person shootout and TPS is third person shooter. The multiplayer games, which is also known as MOBA or multiplayer online battle arena. Then role-playing games, which is also short form RPG, ARPG, and more, because there has a lot of more division on it. After that, we have simulation and sport. This is very common, simulation and sport, because NFS, road race, is a very old school game. Those are the that kind of simulations and sport related games. Or even you can say Angry Bird, because Angry Bird is a very famous game. That is also a part of simulation based game. Not exactly sports, but simulation based game. And then puzzle and party games. Puzzle games are very unique games. मतलब अगर हम लोग बोलेंगे कि विंडोज बेस में अगर हम लोग का पजल गेम है, तो हम लोग का एक माइंड बोल के एक गेम होता था अर्ली विंडोज में, आई थिंक अभी भी होना चाहिए. So those are the very good example of puzzle games. Then action adventure. Every games are action adventure. Yes, Rahul. Rahul, do you want to say anything?
No, sir, no, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay. Again, then action adventure. Every game that we're gonna play nowadays are action adventure. For example, Call of Duty. Okay, and then survival and horror base like Residential Evil, Assassin's Creed, and last of the platformer games. So we'll discuss now. This is a sandbox. Why it called sandbox? Sandbox means a vast area. You cannot hold it on your hand because if you hold tight sand, it will lose from your hand because you cannot hold it every time. So in that concept, the sandbox means a plenty of area where player can move around. Actually होता क्या कोई भी गेम अगर हम लोग खेलते हैं, so every game has a target that we have to go to that mission, we have to save that guy, we have to kill that bad guy, we have to save that good guy. So these kind of things, you cannot kill the civilian. But sandbox doesn't have this kind of thing. Yes, they have the goals, but that is not mandatory that you have to be taking care about the goal. You may not go to the goal. Like those people already play GTA, there is Grand Theft Auto or Vice City, or there are a lot of more chapter on it. मतलब किसी को अगर तुमको कुछ करना भी नहीं है, तुम अगर जा रहे हो तो कोई भी एक आदमी के ऊपर तुम गुस्सा कर सकते हो. You can stole someone car and drive here and there. So anything that can possible, that is come up to the sandbox. So Minecraft is something like that kind of game, and Seasons also that kind of game. So we pack it as a term called sandbox. मतलब ये तीन में example दिया हूँ यहाँ पे. Only the Minecraft, the Grand Theft Auto and Seasons. Since it doesn't mean कि और भी जितना गेम है वो possible नहीं है यहाँ पे incorporate करना. So you have to understand गेम प्ले देख के, गेम का एनवायरनमेंट को देख के, और प्लेयर का जो एक्टिविटीज है, we need to follow the player activities to understand what exactly the genre it is in real time game or sandbox game or shooter game. and that is also important. Shooting game that might be FPS based or third person based can be a sandbox game. A good example is PUBG, because PUBG is also something like that. You have a goal, but still without the goal, you can do whatever you can. Okay, so sandbox is a vast area. If you so only for that I put the sandbox in the top, and and behind that and beneath that the real time and shooter games and multiplayer games and other games is there available. Okay, so I would like to ask you one thing. This session, it might be closed within 5 minutes, and after the closing of the session you should again join on the same link, because the presentation is not yet finished. So if that happens, I will also request Anindra sir to recycle this link and make me host again, so that I can carry forward this presentation.
Yes, yes, I will.
Okay. Okay, nice sound effects. We'll put this here. Go to the next slide. This is called real-time strategy or RTS games. There is the pioneer game. There's two, Warcraft and Age of Empires. It's a very unique games. I think many of you people are also playing those games, but might be this is a little bit of a different kind of game, though it's under the real-time strategy. But hardly some people play this kind of command and conquer kind of game. And what exactly the real-time strategy? The real-time strategy is totally depending on the timing factor. मतलब हम लोग बहुत सारा गेम खेलते हैं जो कि FPS होता है, उसमें होता है कि you need to disable the camera or the security alarm within 2 minutes. ये जो 2 minutes तुम लोग को दिया जाता है, that is called real-time strategy based. That means depending on the time factor, you have to be resolve the issue. So this kind of game is totally depending on the time strategy based, because टर्न बेस्ड गेम है, दो पर्सन खेल रहे हो, एक कंप्यूटर है और एक तुम खेल रहे हो. So what happen if you do your strategy within a stipulated time, after the completion of it the computer also play. But if you are not able to complete your strategy within the stipulated time, automatically the term is given to the computer or the other person. So this kind of game are named as RTS, like real-time strategy, and the common example of it, Warcraft, Age of Empires. Age of Empires is a very famous game. I think 90% of the gamer of India already been played that kind of game. Okay. Now give me a moment. I will just take the attendance of all of you. Just a minute. Okay. So next is FPS और शूटर गेम. ज़्यादातर बॉयज लोग इसको पसंद करते हैं, एंड डेफिनेटली लड़की लोग भी पसंद करते हैं, डजेंट मैटर. लेकिन देखा जाता है as per our scrutiny, like 90% boys are gonna play this kind of game because they have already like that action kind of things. And these three games are also a pioneer, as a Gears of War, Halo, and Doom. And we call it as FPS and TPS. And why it is FPS and TPS, we're gonna discuss about after finishing this link. तो स्टूडेंट्स तुम लोग फिर से इसी लिंक पे ज्वाइन कर लो, क्योंकि ये लिंक खत्म हो जाएगा. देन वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द लैटर ऑन पार्ट.